talking to the ISS, a project around the space station.
So, welcome everybody again. This is Franzi, this is Steffi, and my name is Lena. We're, as you already said, we are 3 students from the Gymnasium, which is right here in Munich. Today we are going to give you a short presentation about our current project called Talking to the ISS, a project around the space station. So that's our agenda. First of all, we are going to talk about our seminar. What is our seminar about? What are our project and our main goals? After that, we will tell you something about the idea behind our project. For example, what the organization ARIS stands for. And we will also tell you a bit about the way we applied to ARIS. Later we will speak about the preparation of the contact, for example about the required equipment and the schoolwork we did and the media involvement. And last but not least, we will explain to you how we imagine the actual day of the contact and who are we going to invite on the day and what other events are we planning around the 5 or 10 minutes of the contact.
Our seminar consists of 15 students and our physics teacher, Mr. Hoffmuller. It is called Space Flight, so we deal with various aspects of aeronautics and aerospace. We made excursions to the German Aerospace Center, the DLR, as well as to the University of German Armed Forces. And there we made not only theoretical but also practical experiences, as you can gather from these pictures. For example, we assembled robots or made experiments with radar and laser. To get an impression how mass, acceleration and velocity of a rocket changes during the flight, we used numerical simulations to model the real process. And one of these simulations concerned the booster rocket Saturn V, and here you can see the results of the simulation. Of course, we also we made hands-on experiments with rockets, as you can see on these pictures. It was really funny. And of course, we also deal with the derivation and application of various formulas like the escape velocity, the Weber integral, and many others. In the seminar we learn the basics of scientific work. Each student has to write a seminar paper that's part of the Abitur. It's similar to the Facharbeit, and it's about a special topic. Some of these are, for example, space tourism, effects of weightlessness on the human body, and material science under the conditions of microgravitation. For this we have to do research on our own and document the results and write them down in detail. It's also important to learn how to work in a team, to pay attention to other colleagues, and to make the most of the individual skills. Apart from that, the contact to externals is essential, especially for our big project, getting into contact with the ISS via radio.
So now about the idea behind our project, about getting into contact with the ISS. So this project wasn't planned at the beginning of our seminar, and our teacher, Mr. Hoffmuller, came across the ARIS program while he was just searching for new challenges for our spaceflight seminar. And so this program goes perfectly with our space flight seminar. And the ARIS is a international working group consisting of delegations from 9 countries, including several countries in Europe, as well as Japan, Russia, Canada, and the USA. And it is run by volunteers from the national amateur radio organizations and the international AMSAT organizations. So AMSAT is the Radio Amateur Satellite Corporation. The program provides opportunities for school classes to get in contact with an astronaut on the ISS, and by offering this really exciting project, they want to arouse interest among young people in space and astronomy. So, after informing about this program, we decided to try to apply, even if we weren't very optimistic in the beginning. Nevertheless, we filled out the huge application form with really lots of questions about dates and conditions of the school that are important for a radio contact. Then the second step was done by our teacher. He wrote an educational proposal including 3 points. The first one is the integration of the scheduled radio contact with the ISS into the curriculum. The second one is the involvement of all grades, and the last one, the media coverage of the project. So in the end, our efforts of the application were worth it. We made it onto the waiting list, and we were really surprised because we didn't expect that. So yeah, and at that point our project actually began.
So as Steffi already said, one thing the ARIS requires is that the whole school is involved. So the students of our seminar gathered and thought about different ways how we could involve for the whole school. The first thing we did was we put up a display case, which you see in this picture. The display case gives information about the current stand of our project. For example, which equipment do we have and which we're still missing. And the display case also contains recent information about the ISS. For example, which astronauts arrived on the ISS. Yes. Then the other thing we did was we created a newsletter called T-6 month, Countdown T-6 months, sorry. So the name is sort of adapted from the countdown by a rocket start. The newsletter should give especially younger students an understanding of our project, because it always contains a lot of pictures and it's really colorful, as you see right there. That's our first one. And then, yes, we try to do a new newsletter about every month, and we always have various topics. For example, which food do the astronauts eat? And we also put sometimes games on there, as you see there. And then the third thing we try to do, and our teacher, Mr. Hoffmuller, also, is to integrate our project into the physics lesson, so that we can show the students that physics is not just boring as they sometimes think. And for example, we create a worksheet for each grade, including exercises of the official German amateur radio license. So then they see that they can actually use what they learned.